What is up? It's Erika Belvin, and I'm here with the Her Digital Empire podcast. I'm also here with my husband, Jesse Bevin.
How's it going, everybody?
We are here tonight to talk about, or today, it's tonight right now, but to talk about a certain topic, actually, that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, which is faking it. But before we get into that, I just wanted to remind you, if you haven't already, to definitely subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Where else are we at?
SoundCloud.
Soon
to be Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify. So if you haven't, definitely do that. And if you can, leave a review, hopefully 5 stars. And it really helps us out too. So but let's get into what we were planning on talking about. So, usually when I come up with a topic, I'm super motivated by that topic because I do want to sound interested in talking about that thing. I'm not a teacher, right? So you can't just give me a lesson plan and I let it roll off. I definitely want to go off of what I'm feeling at the moment. And what is currently on my mind really is fakers, right? So when I'm talking about fakers, I'm talking about faking it till you make it. You know, that's like a super popular phrase. It's used in like success stories and stuff. And I think we've all done it at some point in our lives. I know I have. And I just want to talk about, first of all, it being 2020. That's pretty much what most people are doing, right? I think even like 50 Cent made it cool. Yeah. When he was declaring bankruptcy, he literally said in court, "I have no money," right? Which we don't believe him, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we don't.
I feel like with him,
mm-hmm.
I know where you're going. I feel like there is a lot of faking it till you make it. I feel like with him, he was faking to the judges that he...
Maybe. I mean, it's kind of interesting how probably true a lot of those things were. I mean, renting, like watches and stuff.
That was the weird thing for me, is to hear like that people do that. I didn't think that was a thing. Like, you would think
you would just own it,
right?
I don't know. It's just my opinion. I mean, so like when so my comparison really, because I kind of lived like this crazy life already, even though I'm only 30. I was a model, and, I was not a rich model, I was a bartender. So, when I had to come up with my own clothes for my own portfolio photo shoots and things like that, that stuff wasn't cheap. So, I did all sorts of stuff.
I'm sure.
I had to, like, wear it and keep the tags on and then return it, and I rented cars. I remember renting a Corvette one time to impress like somebody who I was trying to like work with, and I remember just doing all sorts of stuff. I've rented quite a few cars. I think that was probably the gist of it. I never like said that I made all this money when I did it.
Well, that's the key, right? It's like you let people kind of fill in the blanks, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to be an all-time faker, like, nothing I can't stand more than when you're sitting with, like, cash that's not yours.
Oh, my God. Well, that's, like...
cash that's fake. Dude, did you know
like
that there's cash that... You can actually have cash. There's, like, stores you can go buy fake money that's supposed to look real.
You're kidding. That's really, like, a legit thing?
That's what I've seen, yeah.
People are crazy. So, like, one of the things... I think I might have even been, like... a casualty of this was like, and people started calling it out when Instagram started getting bigger, was, all the rent money would be taken from like the roommates or whatever, and you have like 3,000 cash and you just take a picture of it and like look at, it's Monday or whatever, but it's like literally like the 31st or something.
Yeah. And
it usually was always like posted on the 31st. That's something that I remember like, getting called out or whatever. Not me getting called out, but like seeing people call people out. But, here's the thing. It's like such like a good and bad thing, right? Because obviously the faking is motivated by some type of a hustle. But here's where it gets bad, in my opinion. So when you're faking it, sometimes you get so caught up in the faking it that you actually think that you're like successful.
And,
So, that's the problem. So you can actually, in your own crazy little head, make yourself believe that you're successful. And now, obviously, like when it comes to like the laws of attraction, The Secret, all that stuff, you want to feel successful. You want to be in a good mood. You'll get more done. The problem with feeling successful, though, is what comes with success also comes the feeling of comfortability. So you're comfortable.
Sure.
So when you're comfortable, when you're on vacation, when you have like a job that pays your bills and you have a little bit extra to go shopping every once in a while, what do? You don't do anything extra, right? Unless you're just a really extremely self-motivated person. And the average person is not self-motivated. It's like that movie. I love the movie, He's Just Not That Into You, or the book, whatever the heck you like better. But it's always, you're not the exception, you're the rule.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're the exception, right? But the truth is that you're the rule. Do not give yourself credit and say, oh, I'm motivated, I'll get up at 4 a.m. to go start running. Like, you are not going to get up at 4 a.m. to go start running. Set your schedule up so that you can get up in the morning and be able to go and exercise if that's your goal, right? You don't want to try and push yourself to do something that you're probably not going to do. And that, I feel like, is like one of the big issues with faking it till you make it. Also, obviously, the whole thing with social media, which just bothers me the most, but it's just like people get so caught up in showing that they're successful on social media that they actually forget to become successful.
It's kind of like just drew a blank. What'd you say?
It's kind of like you forget that you need to become successful.
Oh, it's kind of like like when, okay, so we've been in certain industries, right?
Right.
And they require phone calls.
Yes.
To like customers, clients, potential clients. Okay. And when you don't make those phone calls, you talk about making those phone calls, you show that you're busy, but you're not really busy.
Okay, so the fake busyness,
right,
is actually like one of the things that bothers me the most, because I consider myself such a hard worker. I will literally put myself in the situation of working doubles if I had a job, or
in this case, you work from the time you pretty much get up.
I get up. My problem is literally I have no balance. I work too much.
Right.
I'm trying to working out and eating healthy.
Exactly.
And vacationing. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like our last trip to Vegas, that was the first time I've actually gone on vacation, and I even had to work when I was on vacation.
Going back in a week.
So, yes. That's for work. I have a photo shoot.
That's for work, IRS.
But yeah, so, it's interesting that for me, I understand both sides because I am a hard worker, but I've also had to fake it till I make it. I get the hustle. I get the idea behind it. But now being, whether I'm the 21-year-old who's hustling and renting my car so that I look better to my potential job or whatever the heck, whoever it is, versus me now at 30 having actually made the physical money and I'm working hard, and instead of putting all that money into a brand new Bentley, I am putting that money into stocks and growing it, and I want to turn it into real estate and all this sorts of new goals, right? That's actually going to create real money.
It's boring, but
it's boring. Okay, compared to, say, the Flash, right? So like I have friends who are flashy, and maybe their bank accounts don't also, agree to the flashiness. And the thing is I feel for them because I was also caught up in this kind of like weird rat race of gotta look good online, gotta look good for your peers and your clients and your, bosses and your potential whatever. But the truth is that, people know if you really don't make money. They do.
The people that know you, for sure.
The people that know you, and people, like, if you're, for instance, like, I'll give you an example. You rent a car like I did, right? You go, but now you can't pay for the frickin' $100 meal that you're about to have. So the other person is gonna have to put out their card, and that person, like knows that they're putting out their card to pay, and they know why they're doing that.
So you have $100, or you have you rent like an I-8 or something, and like show up like a
if
nice
you
foreign.
really want to, right? If you really want to hustle and be that person that's faking it till you make it, you're gonna cover both. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that the hustle is not worth it. I mean, I definitely know that it's worked out for some people, right? Sure. Obviously, it works out for rappers.
There's a couple people I've seen even close to me that have been open about it, you know?
Sure.
But the thing that...
Can you give like an example of it working?
Well, I'm not going to give any names.
No, but like just like a situation, I guess?
I without giving names, I would say it's more like they tell you after they've made it that they were faking it. You don't hear about the million of people that fake it till they make it because they never make it.
But those are the people that are good at it though, because they've tricked you into thinking that they've made it.
Right. Okay. So I did a little bit that, but it wasn't like faking it. Right. I was just creative on like the network marketing industry. It was like I made sure that I was able to, I guess, for anyone that's ever been in the industry, but like build up enough volume without having my quote unquote other leg or whatever active. So then I was able to wait, and then make it active, and it was really like 2 months worth of income.
That's not even like I get it. Yeah, and then you had the check and
right.
Yeah.
But the thing about like you're saying, the fake it though, is to me it's always like I can't get on, like I couldn't get on social media and fake it when like my mom or somebody else knows like I'm not doing well or something, because to me it's like those guys that like claim they've hooked up with chicks, like and they didn't. Like you still have to go home and like you take your clothes off and you like gotta go to get in bed alone and know that you were just lying about it. Like that's weird to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I do. It's a tough like subject because, on one hand, like I get so angry when I see like somebody who doesn't deserve, the credit, getting the credit because they're lying essentially, right? Yeah. Is what that is. But then at the same time, like I've been there, I almost feel like it's not intentional, right? Like you're talking like 1st degree murder versus 2nd degree murder.
That's
right?
really good. That's actually
intentional.
Really good. Yeah.
It's not an intentional sin where they're like, they're doing it for a good reason.
So you don't think it's to fool people? You think it's because they think that's how it's supposed to be done?
Right. Like I don't think it's coming from a place where they're trying to fool people. I think it's coming from a place of they believe it's part of the hustle, and they believe it's part of the success journey. You're gonna fake it. You're gonna pretend. The owner of Spanx, she's like one of the most freaking awesome CEO women like out there right now. When she first got into Nordstrom's, she got signed into Nordstrom's. She went into Nordstrom stores and bought all of her own products and sold out to make sure that they would re-sign her again. Oh. Yeah. So it's like stuff like that where like you hear about it and you're like, oh wow, like you weren't really successful in the beginning, but it was also part of the journey in a way. But again, she's not saying I'm the CEO of Spanx. Here's my like Bojangles and you know what I'm saying, like my Bentley and stuff. She's not doing that. That's more of like a hustle, that's like a business move, like a play,
So I think it's a fine line too about like the millionaire next door, boring life, and then just like the broke person that's constantly flashing and stuff. Like I think that it's important, especially for the younger generation, to kind of find balance, because I definitely think that the richest people don't constantly shove down how much money they make down your throat. But I also never really wanted to be the guy that had like a small house with like a Ford Ranger, beat up truck, and like $4 million in the bank.
So when I was like 19, I remember reading The Millionaire Next Door, and I was like, this is not me. Right. I am
no Louboutins, no injections.
Yeah, I was like, this is not who I want to be. I hate this book.
Yeah.
And then I read How We Want You to Be Rich. That was Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. And finally I was like, oh my gosh, people who are like, think big and you can get your, whatever you want if you put your mind to it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, this is the kind of rich. So it is, you don't have to be boring and drive a crappy car. You can actually have fun on the way up, But now being, in hindsight, now that I've made money, right? In my opinion, you don't have to stay at the Millionaire Next Door, but you need a lot of those traits.
The principles of it,
to get you there.
Yeah.
And the problem with the faking it till you make it is you never get to the point of the Millionaire Next Door because you're always flexing.
Yeah, you kind of got to do it. You kind of got to go, if you're, let's say you are just 100% flash.
Yes.
You have to really get yourself to learn those principles first of the Millionaire Next Door, and then kind of merge your way into more of the flash. You can't flash and then merge your way
Give
into
yourself some goals.
Right.
Say, when I save $10,000 in savings, when I save $5,000 in savings, then I'll buy myself a belt. Because think about it, you've saved $5,000. You can afford a $400 belt. I know that the gurus and stuff will tell you, oh, that's, not good money principles. But number one, you need to reward yourself. That's what your mom said, right?
Yep.
You need to reward yourself.
Shout out to Peggy.
For accomplishing something. It'll keep you motivated. It'll keep you excited. Because like I said, like Jesse said, it's stressful and boring, and you're going to give up if you don't give yourself at least something. So that's, for instance, Jesse and I, we hit some crazy goals this past month. So, we bought some shoes, we bought a purse, we bought a wallet, and that was it. We didn't go crazy. We didn't empty out our bank accounts. We made, what we spent literally like the next day, and paid off. I even got I put all that stuff on like credit cards where I got like points out of it. It's great for my credit because I shows activity, all sorts of stuff. So we were smart about it versus somebody who is saving up the $400 to buy the belt instead of putting it into like stocks or whatever the heck, your savings or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is you don't necessarily have to be this person who drives a $2,000 car until you make $100,000 a month and then treat yourself or whatever. You can definitely enjoy the journey a little bit more. I feel like I have to, otherwise I would just go crazy because it's not in my like DNA to like be, chilling at home with nothing. Great example is your stepdad I just look up to this guy so much, and he literally, so he's been helping us with stocks, and I was terrified of stocks before the coronavirus like crazy thing happened, and he's been helping us, and I didn't even know that he's so humble. Like, he doesn't even talk about this stuff, but he's like amazing at stocks. And so he's been kind of like helping us, kind of helping me understand, understand like my disciplines and things like that. And so we decided to thank him, to gift him, Johnny Walker Blue, which is a really good scotch. And he literally told us, this is a man who is very successful with his money, and he is, the, like, epitome of, like, the Millionaire Next Door type. He said that he told Jesse's mom that he never thought that a bottle like that would be in his house. This is a man who has more than enough.
Exactly. It's like
and he said that he would not buy that type of alcohol for himself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like
that's a discipline.
We drive, I'll just say it because it's not that big a deal. We drive a Prius, right? I'm proud of that Prius, FYI. But we could buy 5 of those Priuses every single month. Mm-hmm. So that's like, it's not so much like, oh
it's
my
the
gosh.
Disciplines.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying like he just has these disciplines, and the flash isn't as important to him.
Right.
He's actually a traveler. He loves to travel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a traveler. Like, I'll chill
His travel
in my
game
house.
is strong.
Yes. Yeah. So he spends his money with what makes him happy. But to me, it was like, oh wow, like I really understand his disciplines, because even something as simple as saying that he wouldn't have spent, that much on a bottle of scotch for himself when he can buy. I was telling Jesse, I was like, dude, what do you mean you would never have had a bottle like this in your house? You could have bought a bottle like this every week if you wanted to and not bat an eye at it. And it's like, it's because of his disciplines, because he would rather put that money into the stock market, which he is very good at, and it make money rather than it sit in his cabinet.
So, like, and if, like, he or anyone else that was like him wanted to then, you know, because, like we said, if it's important for you to be flashy, you can always merge. You know, you gotta crawl before you ball, right?
Exactly.
You gotta learn these disciplines. You gotta put in the boring work before you can go be flashy. If you try to be flashy in the beginning, you'll never learn those key principles. You'll never have balance in your income and
Right.
your portfolio, you know,
And now, what about those Instagram people, right? What about the people who are like, dude, but I'm trying to make it on Instagram?
man, you know, I'll be honest. I don't really know the situation with it. I just know that, like, you know, I mean, there was a girl the other day. Gosh, well, I don't remember her name. I wouldn't say her name anyways, but she had, like, they talked about how she had like 1.3 million followers, and she had advertised for some T-shirt line, and she had sold like 6 shirts. And it was like, so something's weird's there. So the reason I'm saying that is because it's like something isn't adding up, right? So then the question is, does it really make sense to look like you're living this life? Because, like, I can go make tomorrow way more than selling 6 shirts or what the company paid for those 6 shirts.
So was it even worth it?
Right.
In a way.
So yeah, there's some people that make a living off. I mean, if you're good looking, you know, and go that direction. I can't really speak on that because
who was it? What celebrity was it that you were telling me said if they had a choice of getting famous or making money first, they would have decided to make money first?
Man, I want to say that was Dave Portnoy.
Okay.
From Barstool Sports. Shout out to the Prez. But I think he said something along the lines of, it's easier to become famous if you're rich.
Exactly.
Than it is to than whatever the opposite is.
So
it's late.
If I were to talk to my, like, former self, right? Who was modeling and hustling and faking it till I made it, and, you know, all this stuff. While it worked for me, while I got into cool events and I met amazing people and, you know, kind of lived that life for a little bit, I never was fully fulfilled, because my goal was to be successful and wealthy, and it wasn't going to happen as quickly as I wanted it to, doing it the way that I was doing it, which was I was focusing on the fame versus the dollar amounts. I would drive 4 hours for a gig that was free, not paid, but gave me, you know, a lot of, you know, I don't know what you call
notoriety.
it. Yeah, notoriety or attention or whatever.
Sure.
But it didn't make sense at all financially for my bank account. You know, it's not as important to be famous as it is to be wealthy. And a great example of this is, I remember when I was in my early 20s, I got into an opportunity where I was going to be able to be there was a movie filming in San Diego, and the director needed an investment of $10,000, and if I was able to come up with this $10,000, I would actually have a main part in the movie. And I remember just kind of this being over my head. I was so young. Talked to a few people, but, you know, nothing really you know, came of it, because, and the director even told me, most of my friends who had money were like financial advisors. The thing about movies and investing in movies is that you're not going to make money off of a movie. You're going to take a loss. So you want to find like a movie buff, somebody that's willing to just throw money into a movie to become a part of it. And unfortunately, my crowd or my group was not that type of a person. They would rather put their money into stocks and, you know, financial investments, like, you know, real estate and things like that. They were not into movies. So it didn't work out for me. But if that same, like, director came to me now, this would be something that I could talk to my husband about and say, hey, listen, I can give him $10K. I would get a producer credit, which is huge, by the way, for your IMBD and for you, period. And, you know, I would be able to get SAG and everything. And all I needed was that initial investment. And the crazy thing that I learned from that director was that the majority of the kids, this was like a younger movie, a lot of like the kids that were ended up being in the movie were also in I don't remember the one where everybody like was dancing with Zac Efron.
High School Musical?
Yeah, High School Musical. A lot of those kids were going to be in this movie. And what I learned was that a lot of these celebrities bought their way into Hollywood. And in fact, people like, and this director, he educated me on this because I was, learning and learning this side of Hollywood. So again, focusing on the money, having that money there can give you what you want, the fame, all that stuff. I mean, I'm talking about people who are very successful now, and it sucks too, because it's like kind of like that whole, especially with this current climate of the country, but it's like thinking about like, people who already have money and how much easier it is for them. This is something that me and Jesse always talk about, is the rich get richer. The rich always get richer, right? So if the rich are always getting richer, focus on being rich first, and then you'll get richer, right? Success becomes more open to you rather than, just you hoping for it, I guess, as like a broke, person. A good example is like, I don't even want to say their name, but there's a person who I know who was a singer in a band, and I mean, she's got to be like 50 now, but she says she's younger, and this is somebody who, she's happy because she's on Spotify and things like that, but I mean, it's definitely not, the net worth isn't there in comparison to all the gigs and stuff that she's done, the working hard. Just because you're working hard on becoming famous and big doesn't mean that you're gonna get, success,
sure.
right?
Sure. Because you can always, like we said, we can always do the merger. You can always, if you built the principles, you built the success, you built the wealth, you can always, well, not even necessarily success, right? But you built the wealth. Mm-hmm. You can kind of like Jeff Bezos. Let's say he was really like an introvert, like nobody really knew who he was. The dude's so rich, he could get into any party he wants. He could become known quickly.
Yeah.
But if you're known, like how many celebrities are known but have spent all their money and are broke, right? We hear these stories all the time. So it's like, which one would you rather have? And we're not saying like, this really isn't even about celebrities. It's more about like the fakers, but like the reason it's so important to build those key principles and that foundation and not so much focusing on the flash and that sort of thing is because you can always have that later on down the road.
Exactly. And again, like I said, it's I'm not one of those people who's like, screw the haters and the fakers and the
right.
posers,
We've all been there.
But it's just not, if you're on that road right now and you're like, man, this hits home and it's kind of making me feel uncomfortable because this is kind of what I'm doing right now, it's just a good moment for you to like check yourself and say, maybe it's time that I look at my bank account, right? So something like a habit I had to form from just, learning from books and stuff was to look at my bank accounts every day, even if it made me feel uncomfortable. Because you need to get really focused on what you focus on is what grows.
That's true.
So one of the things about being poor or not having money in your account is like you don't want to look at your account. So
we've all been there.
So like you'll just randomly look at it and be like, oh my god, I have negative $600.
We all or like the credit report or,
yes.
or like a credit card balance, like dude.
Oh my gosh, yes, the looking at the account, but
yeah,
what you focus on grows. So start with building the discipline of opening up your bank account every day, on your phone or whatever. And just looking at it. Not only is this going to save you money because you're going to see charges that weren't supposed to be there, things like that just randomly come up. People who don't look at their bank accounts always miss. But you're going to see what's there, and it's going to guide your decisions in the day. So you'll decide, Jesus, there's only, $125 in my account right now. I'm not going to get this Starbucks coffee because the Starbucks coffee is $5. It's going to bring me down $120. I have to get to next Friday, like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And rather than making those bad decisions, and it all starts with that. And then the next thing you know, you're going to the store and you're buying your own coffee because it's going to save you whatever. And it's these little things that even if you make the goal of, you know, I don't even have money to save. Even if you're doing something like a spare change program and you have to pay attention to your bank account because the spare change is coming out, you know, that is better than nothing, in my opinion. And it creates those disciplines so that, you know, maybe you can focus on, since you're working a job and you're not making a lot of side income, maybe you can focus now on the side income. Just focus on making $100 extra bucks a month that you can put into a savings account. And by the end of the year, that's extra $1,200 that you can now maybe put in the stock market, which is going to do a lot more for you than any savings account. And now you're up, you know, 12% of your initial savings of $1,200, and that's better than your savings account. And now, you know, because of this, you're starting to learn more about stocks. Sure. And you know what I'm saying? Everything is compounding and it starts from those simple disciplines of just checking your bank account every day.
Yep.
Right? So it's, you want to treat like money like a baby. You know, you want to nurture it and watch it and care for it, right?
Yep.
So I wasn't trying to turn this into a financial
no, it's good. I'm like taking notes.
Podcast. I don't know. I was just so kind of like motivated by this topic because it's just so apparent right now in like a lot of people's lives and people who it's like, I know you're not making money and yet you look more successful than me. And why is that? It's because my head is down and I'm focused.
Sure.
But it all ends up catching up in the end. You know?
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
Big
right?
facts.
Ew. But yeah, so, you know, other than that, definitely, just as a reminder, if you can, definitely subscribe to the podcast. Leave a review if you can. We are going to be trying to do this like once a week or something.
Yeah, as the website finishes up, we will get these out probably, hopefully at least weekly, maybe twice a week.
Absolutely. And if you are looking for a side hustle, you know, I do have my $20 monthly membership. It's Her Digital Empire Junior Varsity. I teach you how to do graphic design so that you can go and, I mean, I'm literally taking girls who are, you know, they know nothing about graphic design and they feel comfortable being able to charge other people. So, you know, again, that's a side hustle you can take on, $20 a month. I'm not trying to make millions of dollars off of this, obviously. I just thought, why not spread the wealth? So, you know, if you're needing something that's affordable and that's all you can afford right now, that's a great start for a side income.
Yep.
But yeah, I will definitely get this closed out and we will see you on the next episode.
Yep.
Yeah.